It was a delicate thing to work on because I remember my original approach was, how do you make zombies and monsters dance without it being comical? So I said we have to do just the right kind of movement so it doesn't become something that you laugh at, but it just has to be, you know, take it to another level. So I got in a room with Michael Peters, and he and I together kind of imagined how these zombies should move by making faces in the mirror. And I used to come to rehearsal sometime with monster makeup on, and I loved doing that. So he and I collaborated, and we both choreographed the piece. And I thought it should start, you know, like that kind of thing, then go into this kind of jazzy step, you know.
It's awesome because it
kind of gruesome things like that, you know. Not too much ballet or whatever.
Right. It has that stiff movement to it.
Yeah.
You know, the length of time, a 14-minute video, was pretty much unheard of. Were you worried at all that
No,
you guys were down
because
for-
I knew if we did something with substance and content that people would watch, and it had great entertainment value, and if it held you, I knew we'd be okay, and that was the idea, you know.
When you made the video, when you were making it, when you finished it, did you realize just what you'd accomplished, that this was going to be this groundbreaking?
When I was in the editing room, I knew I liked it. I enjoyed it. You know, it has to be satisfying for me, and I enjoyed what I had seen when we finished it. So I was happy with it. Never totally satisfied, but I was happy.
What about it would you have changed if you could?
I remember I was happy with certain cuts and angles and the timing and, you know, those sort of things, you know.
Your own worst critic, huh?
Yeah, it has to be just right. Beat It, it makes me think of the song and working with Quincy Jones and all those wonderful people. I love Quincy. He's a wonderful guy to work with. And I remember him telling me to write a song that I would enjoy, you know, with an edge. So I went in my room and wrote Beat It. I don't know why, but I did. About, you know, two gangs coming together. And the song is so self-explanatory that it's so easy to make this short film. And I had seen, I think it was a McDonald's commercial, and I said, God, I like the rhythm and the cut of this commercial. I said, I want this director for this piece. So I reached out to him.
So that was Steve Barron, not Steve, I'm sorry, Giraldi.
Bob Giraldi, better than me. Yeah, Bob was cool.
That's awesome. I didn't realize that he came from that world.
Yes, he started in commercials.
Well, certainly gave him a big opportunity there.
Yeah.
There was a time, there was the time that MTV wasn't playing, you know, wouldn't play the video, and was it Billie Jean or Beat It that they say broke the racial
I think it was Billie Jean, because that came before Beat It. It was between Mickey Schulhoff and MTV. I don't know the whole story.
But still, how did that make you feel to finally, you know, to be the one to kind of be the first?
It makes me feel happy. It really does. I was glad.
Cool. Billie Jean is kind of different because it really doesn't have anything to do with the lyrics of the video. It's kind of a whole different thing. How'd you come up with that?
It's kind of surreal and it's different. I didn't come up with that concept. It was, I think, a British fellow.
Steve Barron.
Yeah, Steve Barron. He just had all these different and I thought he had wonderful ideas, but I let him go with it. The only part I wrote in the piece was I said, I just want a section. I said, give me a section where I could dance a little. Because he said no dancing in the whole piece. He said, no dancing. I said, just give me one little moment. So that whole section where you see this long street and this billboard of these two girls, one of them is Billie Jean and I'm dancing. That's the only part I contributed. I wanted to do a dance number where I told my sister Janet, I said, you remind me of a Black Panther. I said, why don't you do something where you transform into a Black Panther and you transform into yourself again? She said, I like it, but she didn't go with it. Because the two of us, we always think alike. So I told her I was going to do it, so I did it. And in the dance, I said, I want to do a dance number where I can just let out my frustration about, you know, injustice and prejudice and racism and bigotry. And within the dance, I just became upset and I let go, you know, and that's what happened. And I think at the time, people were concerned about the violent content of the piece, but it's like easy to look at. It's simple.